Hello and welcome to Saturday. I've lost track of time. Completely lost track of time. But that's not stopping me. Uh, so a couple days ago, was watching a friend on Twitch, and uh, apparently he had a conversation earlier where he was asked, "How do you open a can?" Specifically, like a can of soda or something, right? Um, and that was a bizarre question. But then he went on to explain, which finger do you use? And I'm obviously like, oh yeah, you just use your thumb, right? You just the thing is like this, and you just put your thumb under and just pop it like that. And apparently, this was the most insane thing he's ever heard in his life because I don't know what he does. Like his ring finger, maybe like this, or like I forget what exactly it was. But at this point, I was just so confused that I made it a point to run out to the store and pick up some cans of Liquid Death. Now, I typically don't drink soda, so I wanted some canned water. And I thought Liquid Death is the kind of brand to go with because it's the canned water brand. And I thought it was very funny. So I went over to the store, grabbed a couple cans, and immediately I thought, okay, let's try opening these. So the first thing I did was, because this was all about like, okay, let's how can one-handed or whatever at a party, I would just do this, right? Hand like this, finger here, your index finger, and then just under and then pull up the tab like that. It's much harder to do with every other finger. Even your thumb, it's like really difficult to grip the can properly to get like proper leverage. Sure, it seems easy kind of like this, but once you actually start doing it, the leverage is kind of weird, right? You can like jam your thumb in, and it's just you won't have that enough power unless you're like a really strong grip, unless you're like a boulder or rock climber, mountain climber kind of person. You might have an easier time, but eventually I just started, trying. Okay, well, one-handed. Let's do this finger. Let's do this finger. Let's do that finger. And for me, it's always been as simple as when I grab a can with two hands. It's just like this, hand like here, pull. That's it. So that was it. But then, I started thinking, how absurd can I get? So I had a can at my desk, and again, this is a sparkling water specifically. They do sell still, but I figured if I'm getting canned something, might as well go sparkling. So I'm at my desk, and in front of me is an SD card. And this one is actually a dead SD card. If you remember a while back when I was messing around with this camera, the Sony CyberShot, this is the SD card in it. And I ran into some issues that could not be saved because it just failed, and I'm not going to put in too much effort into saving a 32 gig SD card. So I figured, okay, well, we have a 32 gig SD card, what do we do with it? Well, I don't care about it. I want it destroyed. It's marked. I literally wrote dead on it. So I figured, okay, just wedge it under here, pop it open. Works like that. Very silly. Then I started thinking, how absurd can I get with things? With this can specifically, I actually opened it using a paper towel. I folded it, like once or twice, and like wedged it under, and then pulled it up. And that didn't work properly, so I folded it again one more time, and that worked after like folding it a few times, and I was surprisingly able to open this can of water. So now I'm thinking, how absurd can this get? And I'm looking around the room and I'm just seeing, tons and tons of things. There's nothing standing out to me yet, but it's just, if I open a drawer right here, I've got plenty of hair ties just sitting in here. that I could use. You know, here's a scrunchie. That seems like a very silly thing to use. There's just all sorts of absurd things that you can try and use to open cans, and I'm very much going to be leaning into that. It's just, oh, what do I have on me? Not that I would actually do this, but you know, in my pocket I have the lens cap. It's just, you know, you can theoretically kind of just like angle it in such a way that you're able to wedge it under and then pop it up. And that seems like a very silly and stupid thing to do if I had an excess of lens caps. You know, we talked about this yesterday, but here's a clothing hanger that I could just right. Here's an actual can bottle opener thing, but you know, there's pieces of cardboard. I do not. As tempting as it is, I do not want to actually break a vinyl record with this. But there's all sorts of like silly little things that I can use to open this, and I think that'd be very, very funny to try. So I think that's my goal for the next year. In case I ever need to open up a can, what's the most absurd thing I can use to open it? Probably just default to using my thumb and index, but maybe I'll try using, I don't know, my thumb and pinky. That seems like a stupid way to open a can, and this is about to snap off, so won't be messing with that too much. But yeah, it's very silly, and we're just starting opening cans in the most absurd ways, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, let me know what the best way to open a can is in your opinion, because it's definitely thumb and index. But if you have a prioritize the finger when you're opening it, like one hand like set on a hard surface like a table or something, you're like this. You're like, okay, well, let's just open a can real quick and just, you know, in the air it's much harder, but you can pick whatever finger, what's your priority. But yeah, this is a little silly thing that we've been doing the past couple days. So that's what we're gonna call it here for today. So thank you all for watching. I hope to see you tomorrow, and until then, later.